We have a very special AMG vehicle that Clearwater of Mercedes has given us, the 2022 Mercedes AMG GLE 63S in your Obsidian Black Metallic. New this year is an AMG Night Package, which we have. It adds black exterior elements. Inside, you're gonna get enhancements, multi-contour front seats. They're heated, ventilated, Nappa leather, carbon fiber trims, over 600 horsepower bi-turbo V8 with 0 to 60 numbers in the 3-second margin. And it goes after rivals like your Porsche Cayenne Turbo, your BMW X5M competition, your Audi RS Q8. Which one is going to be the best with performance, with value, interior luxury, and an all-around drive? I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides. I'm going to go over all the specs and details, starting now. The new Mercedes AMG GLE 63S definitely strikes you with performance, and they start off with that AMG Night Package, which adds gloss black to the front splitter, the apron trim strips, your window treatment, exterior mirror housing, your roof rails, the rear apron trim, AMG exhaust system with twin tailpipes in black chrome. And the nice thing is we already have the towing package there, which if you optioned a BMW X5M competition, you would not be able to tow nothing compared to this because it tows over 7,000 pounds. In the front fascia, you're going to get the vertical bar for the traditional AMG setup with the 3-point badging that is huge. Long twin power dome hood, which is a signature for the AMG. It's also the widest. Mercedes LED adaptive headlamps, nearly a 50-50 weight distribution. AMG suspension adaptive dampers. That's going to tighten up the suspension by 25% in sport mode, 40% in sports plus and race. AMG electronic limited slip differential, adaptive dynamic engine mounts. Is not going to be the longest, it's going to be a touch less in length compared to the Audi RS Q8 at 195 inches. A wheelbase 117.9 inches set with these 22-inch staggered AMG cross-spoke wheels, matte black. The wheel wells are bulged out. Behind those red calipers hold 6 pistons in the front. Cross-drilled and ventilated for the front and rear rotors. AMG Ride Control suspension based on AMG Ride Control Plus, AMG Performance 4MATIC all-wheel drive, AMG Dynamic Select system. Comparing this to the Porsche Cayenne, the savings is over $20,000 to $30,000, and that's at a base MSRP where this is spec'd out. When you're comparing this to the BMW X5M competition, towing over 7,000 pounds, you're not going to get that with the Beamer, and the lower bumper stresses the performance styling in the AMG, going inside with your power tailgate to 33.3 cubic feet of storage. There's a spare tire tucked underneath the floor. We have a storage compartment on the left side with a 12-volt. Split fold the rear bench to a 40-20-40 split, maxing the cargo to 74.9 cubic feet. Bi-turbo V8 with over 600 horsepower. Let's go inside, start it up so you can hear that exhaust note. The new Mercedes AMG GLE 63S definitely has that throaty exhaust, raw power out of a bi-turbo V8. The best part about it, it This is hard to get, and they back the performance with a handcrafted AMG 4.0 liter V8 bi-turbo engine with hybrid assist, producing 603 horsepower and 627 pound-feet of torque. That's paired to an AMG Speed Shift TCT 9-speed automatic transmission, achieving 15 to 19 mpgs with a 0 to 60 at 3.7 seconds. Quarter mile, 11.9 seconds at top speed at 174 miles per hour. The Porsche Cayenne Turbo will be the fastest by just a few miles. The 0 to 60 numbers, the same as the BMW X5M competition, the same as your Audi RS Q8, which is a Lamborghini detuned engine. So what you're getting with this, the value, the performance, hard to get right now AMG V8s with that bi-turbo, this is definitely a treat. Let me know in the comments what you think about the 2022 Mercedes AMG GLE 63S as we go into the interior, go over the tech, and take this for our test. Entering inside the Mercedes AMG GLE 63, headroom at 40.5 inches, legroom at 40.3 inches. The seats are very plush, and it should be, with AMG Macchiato beige with black exclusive Napa and diamond stitching, AMG badging, multi-contour front seats with massage, ventilated, heated, luxury at its best, and that's what the AMG does when they go into Mercedes. They just give you a crazy performance engine, and then you load it up in the interior, carbon fiber inserts on the dash underneath, the contrast stitching and the soft materials, two 12.3 digital readouts. And what I like is how they made this look like an air vent, so it doesn't make any eyesores. It's very seamless, the way everything fits nice and flush. With the infotainment, we have navigation and the pinch, the swipe, click it to your home button, slide it over into your AMG performance page. Here you can see your vehicle, your engine. This will tell you all your performance, your consumption, and your dynamic select. Go into your settings, and here you can do quick access. You can do your different safety settings, your vehicle settings, your lighting, different things for your system. Mercedes Me app, click into comfort. Here is where you have your massage, and you have multiple settings for that. Your seat comfort, your ambient lighting, which is 64 different colors, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, Wi-Fi hotspot. Switch it to reverse. You do have full trajectory. It is a 360-degree camera. The best is you have a lot of different camera positioning, so this will make it super easy for your reversing. Down the lower underneath these air vents, you're going to get some button structures for your climate control, so you don't have to do everything through that infotainment. We have a wireless charging pad, 2 USB-C ports, a 12-volt. Cup holders are ventilated and heated, so you can fit 16.9 ounce, and that adjusts to probably over 40 ounces. I like that we have a little palm rest right on top for our mouse. Even though you have the pinch and you have the voice recognition, you still have that dynamics that you can still alter everything with your fingertips. You can also raise and lower the suspension. Wraps around for the grab handles here, that makes it more aggressive. AMG steering wheel with the Alcantara on the sides, carbon fiber on the top and bottom, 12 o'clock. AMG drive control buttons, so you can toggle your sport mode right on the fly. You can also make that exhaust note a little bit more throaty. 12.3 digital gauge cluster. You can go through a lot of different settings here, and you can also tailor the design. So you can go from your classic, you can go to your sport, super sport, understated, and your standard display. And each display on all 3 levels can be changed and altered. So this is fully reconfigurable. Heads-up display, sporty for your elbows. Open up inside here. It's a deep storage with another USB port. Door panel is going to get the soft materials on the top with the contrast stitching. Carbon fiber inlays with the Burmaster. Your power seat adjustments, memory for the driver and passenger. One touch up and down for all your windows, and it's soft where you rest your arms. Storage pocket is large. You could probably fit about 4 or 5 16.9 ounce water bottles without any issues. You can also activate your navigation by saying, "Hey Mercedes."
I'm sorry, but I can't help you with that right now.
Unfortunately, some of the voice recognition takes time to learn, but it is super advanced. A large and wide pano moonroof that goes all the way to the back seats. Let's see how I look back there. For the back seats, I'm at 39.6 inches of headroom, 40.9 inches of legroom. We have your dual climate control settings back here, air vents in the center, storage behind both of the front seats, and on the side pillars. 2 USB-C ports, and a home plug with a little storage tray. The floor is not completely flat. Back here, because this is a traditional box shape SUV, you do not lose leg space or head space. I like that it's power seat adjustments. You have 6-way power adjustments for the back seats, which is super cool. Open up inside here and you got a little bit of storage, cup holders. I'm not a big fan of these particular, but you can fit a 16.9 ounce without any issues. And for a family, the door panel, the pocket storage has even more capacity to fit another 2 or 3. Plus you get that carbon fiber inlays with the Burmester sound system and the software you rest your elbows, one touch up and down for the windows. Power sunshades for the rear, which is something you do not get in the Audi RS Q8, but you get that in this. Sitting into the center, headroom, no issues, nor is legroom. I'm sharing feet, butt, shoulder space, but the way this vehicle is, because it's wider than the competition, you actually have more space sitting into the center and you sit like you would be sitting on the sides. You're not sitting upwards, so it's still a pretty comfortable ride sitting in the center. And comparing it to the rivals, the back seat of this is going to be the most comfort in each section. As for the Audi RS Q8, it's going to be almost the same width because that's a box structure, but it cuts back because it's also a coupe-like design. Whereas this one is traditional SUV. You're not losing head space. You're not losing any leg space because it's also a longer vehicle. And the best part is you got the AMG bi-turbo performance. Taking the 2022 Mercedes AMG GLE 63S out for our test run. 603 horsepower with 627 pound-feet of torque, bi-turbo V8 4.0 liter. It is going to be a fun delight, and I got it in Sport Plus. Here we go. There's nothing like a bi-turbo AMG engine. It really screams from the exhaust note. The setup, this is definitely the way I would set it up too. You don't feel so much until you start going into a lower speed for the impurities of the road. The front windscreen, you can see, and it does feel very aggressive, especially the way the A-pillars are positioned. Comparing it to the rivals, this actually has a very mean stance, and it makes you feel like, you know, should I push it? Yes. The steering wheel to it, this is the best spec one, because if you're wanting to do some race performance, you could do it 0 to 60 numbers in the 3-second margin. You are super quick. Now there is 3 things I like and 3 things that I dislike. Is anything more than that, I'd be buying this AMG 63S. The 3 things that I like about it, I mean, I'm not trying to sound like a broken record, but bi-turbo V8 4.0 liter with over 600 horsepower. The price tag to this, the savings, what you're getting as an all-round package, unbelievable. And we're just gonna leave it as one. The second thing that I like about it is you still get a nice exhaust note, even though you have it very sealed up. I don't hear anything but the exhaust note, which is exactly what I want to hear when I'm inside this vehicle. Here we go. And it just screams performance. Oh my God. And then the brakes, they grab very well. If you're driving this on an everyday, you're not going to be doing your performance all the time. So we're going to put it into comfort. That's going to alter the suspension. It's going to make it a little bit less throaty. And now you can kind of hear a little bit of noise besides the exhaust, but it's very, very light. The last thing that I like, the back seat's the absolute best in class when we're comparing it to any of the rivals, because you have power seat adjustments, plus the amount of space that you have because this is a traditional SUV. 3 things that I dislike about the vehicle. Unfortunately, because it's a bi-turbo V8 4.0 liter, it's one of the worst in class for MPGs. But you get so much of a smile when you're driving this vehicle. You I guess you overlook that. The second thing that I dislike about the vehicle, and it's a like and a dislike, only because when you first buy it, it's very over the top. There's a lot going on in the gauge cluster and in the infotainment, more so than you actually need. The average driver probably won't use 99% of this stuff. Before we get to the last thing that I dislike, we're gonna stop in the middle of the road. We got it in Sport Plus, and we're going to engage her. Here we go. And that's what raw performance gets you out of a handcrafted V8 bi-turbo engine. And looking at the rivals' perspective, the funny thing about it is most, if not all of the vehicles are getting right at the same number, 0 to 60. The quarter mile, the RSQ8 will be the fastest, and the top speed goes to the Porsche Cayenne GTS. The BMW X5M competition, it sets the same example with the 0 to 60 number. And when you're in this price category, it's like, which one would you rather have in the sense of comfort, dynamics? This one has a little bit more of a specialty to it because it's handcrafted, whereas the other ones are not going to be. And this also is going to set up not so high as the BMW. It sets a little bit more aggressive. The steering is going to be a lot more artificial even in the sport mode, but it's a little bit more precise too in the sense of if I need to do cornering. So I do like that. Blind spot monitoring, you're spot on, and you don't really have any blind spots because it's a traditional SUV. The paddle shifters, I like this better than the BMW, even though both of them are plastic. I just feel like they're a little bit more solid the way they sit. The last thing that I dislike about the vehicle is the seat settings to it become a little bit more aggressive than the rivals. So for an everyday vehicle, I could see people saying at the beginning it's going to be a little bit firm, and it will take you a little bit of time to get used to, but once you get beyond those curves, I mean, just give it some going. Hear that handcrafted bi-turbo V8. And it's not to sound like a broken record or as if I've never driven a V8. It's just the fact that they're so hard to come by for the Mercedes line. They are virtually impossible, and the fact that we still have them, and now for 2023, they're going to try to help make more. That's just something that makes it a little bit more special in the sense that now we have things to compare against the BMW X5M competition, because the 53 is not going to be as powerful and it's not going to be as throaty, and the 0 to 60 numbers are going to be slower. So this one definitely fits into the class, and I like the fact that we finally have it back in production. I'd like to thank Mercedes of Clearwater for giving us this 2022 Mercedes AMG GLE 63S for our car review. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Hawkeye community. If not, click the next video, the subscribe button, check out the details, merchandise, website, and everything we do here at Hawkeye Rides.